You don't want it? Lady to lady, you want me to do it?
Oh, no, you can. I can do the title. It's fine.
I talk a lot.
Senior director.
Any chance I get to put your voice on tape, that's what we're doing.
Okay.
Big one today.
Big one.
Who we got?
We have Erica Kosemund. She is the Senior Director of Gaming and Partnerships at Choctaw. I just met her for the first time at G2E last October, but we have been Instagram besties for like a year and a half now.
What constitutes an Instagram bestie?
I don't know you, but I'd like ride or die for you. And maybe she doesn't feel that way about me.
We'll find out. I
guess we'll find out.
Thanks for the
just
likes.
Putting myself out there. You like their stuff. They like yours. You're in the DMs. You're back and forth. You're answering people's stories. And
you know how I know I'm doing it wrong? I'm not in any DMs. I comment on things.
Yeah, it's all within the public eye. Well, she does lead a very exciting life.
So she's one that I feel like I would go, your job's pretty cool. Because
Yeah.
it's like, oh, you're popping up at this sporting event or that.
Oh, you're with that celebrity?
Yeah.
Oh,
Beyonce had a drink. That's kind of cool.
Playing golf with Tiger Woods? Wow.
Sounds important. Sounds like a big deal. Sounds like something I couldn't do.
Yeah.
Let's get to it. You want to get to her?
Yes.
Erica, let's do it.
Erica Choctaw.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Oh, I like that.
You know Erica Choctaw?
You're so well known in my mind as being the Choctaw. Like, I didn't even recognize that you worked at Chickasaw. Like, I'm sure maybe I knew that.
Yeah. Well, I just had a little bit of a different job. This is my actually 8-year anniversary, like today. Like today, tomorrow, like, is when I joined the company 8 years ago.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing your anniversary with us.
Yes.
That's
We
fun.
feel so honored.
Did you
We
bring
got
a
you flowers or something.
cake?
Yeah, anything. I don't know.
Cake?
We got you nothing. We failed.
And you guys are doing really cool partnerships over there.
Thank you.
You guys just did something with Neiman Marcus, and you continue to do things with Coca-Cola.
Yes.
Shout out to Courtney. We love her.
Yes.
But what are you guys doing right now?
I'm in town for the NFR, the National Finals Rodeo. So we're in our 4th year of partnership with them. Year-long partnership, but obviously it culminates here in Vegas for the
big finals.
for the big finals and world championships. And we sponsor specifically for this week the bullfighters. So the bullfighters wear Choctaw jerseys. We have a lot of autonomy with the organization. They let us design the jerseys, so we are able to bring in tribal culture and some of the gaming elements. And so every night they wear different jerseys, and sometimes they represent different things. You know, it's like a pink out night, so we have pink jerseys, or a memorial night. We know what the guys like to wear, we know what we like to do, and so it's kind of a cool, like, trifold collaboration to get these guys looking good.
It's cool that they give you flexibility to do your thing there. Like, backing up a step, how does this even start? Like, do you pick up the phone and you go, the rodeo's cool?
I actually love this story.
Okay,
so
perfect.
in 2020, COVID happened, the world shut down. Even in Vegas, they said, we're not having a rodeo. Where would host a rodeo? Who can do it? Texas. The day it got announced, Choctaw just notoriously loves rodeos, but we had kind of like not been involved as much. I mean, I'll never forget. My boss comes around the corner, screams, Erica, NFR's coming to Texas, and I want it done in 5 days. I've never been to a rodeo in my life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Literally my first rodeo. But that's how it happened.
Yeah.
One-off odd year started a very long, wonderful relationship.
I love the 5 days thing because that's so true in marketing. Like, okay, it just got signed. We need this done
Don't
in
miss
less
out.
than a week.
Don't miss out.
And don't mess up. Ideally, you would love like months of planning, but yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me about some other campaigns that you've done with Choctaw, because you guys have done a lot, and it's beyond just like the giveaway card.
What
thing.
sticks out?
What stands out to you? What's like your favorite one?
I have multiple favorite ones, like for different reasons. If you would have told little kid Erica that she was doing this, she would be like, there's literally no way.
Start with that one. That one sounds fun.
I mean, that one is working with Troy Aikman and Emmett Smith
okay,
and like
the
those guys that
Cowboy
are,
Hall
you know,
of
people
Famers,
that, you know,
yeah.
people, you know, people that live in Texas. These are their heroes.
100%.
They're heroes.
Well, I grew up in Vegas, and I had an
our
Emmett
brand.
Smith poster, so these guys are bigger
Yeah,
than
he's got a
even Texas.
restaurant here
Yeah,
now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you know, telling my mom like, yeah, I just did a photo shoot with Troy Aikman, and you know, he was super nice, and then we took Emmett to dinner. You know, like all those things. Or Kid Erica would have been like, you do what? The one that's most viral that from an advertising standpoint in like I think 2019 in Dallas. I guess it was probably like a commercial building that they were tearing down. They wanted to implode it. And when they imploded it, it went wrong. It didn't implode. So it was just a leaning tower. So our agency calls like fast, like 5 minutes, like we have an idea. Just
Watching out the window.
yeah, they said
Yeah,
just stick with us here. They're like, let's project a message for your brand on the leaning tower that says have better luck with us.
How good is that, though? Yeah, for sure.
And so of course that's one of those things you have to go to your boss and be like, I know this is controversial.
Yeah.
I know we may get fired, and our lawyers will probably get a call, but can we? You know, and so they said, do it. And it was up for 60-ish minutes before the cease and desist came. We were just projecting it. And it went super viral.
Yeah.
So now, we talk about like what's our next Leaning Tower moment. The cool thing about Choctaw also is the name of a tribal people. So, when you're promoting that, you're not promoting just a stick or a casino. You're promoting a tribe. You're promoting a culture of people. That's who they are as a fabric. When we go into a new market or a market that doesn't really know us, I always say like on the external end, hey, this is going to take a while. So it's not going to be that you brought us a great idea, right?
Yeah.
And it's going to be like, oh, yes, we'll sign tomorrow. We're going to vet it. We call it internally socializing. So I always say I want to socialize an idea before I ever bring a packet of investment or a pack. Like I want, especially with our just like gaming leadership team, no matter if you work in slots or blackjack or tables or Cajun credit, I want my peers to know like and be supportive like, hey, this is the next thing we're going into. Before we ever get to a boardroom saying like, hey, we want to make this investment, it's the first time you've heard of it.
What new industries are you guys looking to get into?
From like a advertising, marketing, brand standpoint, we're growing. So, we've built our expansion at our flagship Durant. We're hopeful that most of our closest market has heard of us, right? So now we're kind of dabbling in for the summer. One of the things that the property does is they make millionaires. They give away $3 million, $1 million to every person every month throughout the summer. Probably one of the largest promotions in the country. Has viral aspects to it. But for this year, we went to advertising in Austin Airport. Saw great results. So now it's like, okay, they'll make the driver, they'll take the flight.
Yeah, so build a little on that because I'm assuming a lot of people listening are going, okay, we have similar challenges.
Yeah.
We know our radius, however you define it. Our neighbors know us, right? Let's call it that. But that neighborhood down the road, how do you know that it worked? Is it just all of a sudden a lot of people with Austin driver's licenses are registering for players cards?
100%.
Or how do you track it?
Right? That's one of the best things about gaming is we have more information on a customer than anybody.
Right.
So yeah, we can say like, okay, let's run a zip code test.
Yeah,
Let's see how many new card signups came from this area. So we're looking at, some newer markets. Obviously, a hot topic around the country is gaming isn't legal in Texas. So it's the last wild frontier.
Yeah, because it seems like part of the challenge would be you're obviously managing the Choctaw brand at a high level. From a gaming perspective, you have multiple casinos, but then you're also managing the differences between Durant, for example, and I always get it wrong. I feel like Picola maybe, right?
Yeah.
The new one, right? Where you going? Those each have their own brand identity.
That's right.
When you look at high-level partnerships, like, for example, the Cowboys, the former Hall of Fame Cowboys, that might play well across all 5 now, or how many?
That's right. So,
how do you think about that versus do you start doing sub-activations for each property? Where's your focus?
We do it. That's kind of like when we build out, like you said, like how does this all come about? When we build out those partnerships, we think what is important for the properties to have access to? Like, what do they need? Do they need appearances? They need VIP dinners? They need signings? They need jerseys? Perfect example is we just had Darren McFadden at Grant and Picola. Well, Darren McFadden played for the Cowboys, so in Grant he wore Cowboys gear and signed autographs. It was all blue and white, but in Picola he wore the Razorback gear because he played for the Razorbacks. So it's like what audience do you want to tier to? So that's a perfect question. But yeah, we're always looking at what's important for them and not just like making it cookie cutter.
When you say we have appearances or maybe giveaways, is there one type of, I guess, called activation that you've noticed has resonated more with players, maybe more generally? Like for folks listening that go, well, we don't have the Razorbacks, but maybe we should find an appearance or we should find a giveaway or whatever. Like, is there one kind of avenue that seems to be resonating more, or it's truly just different?
I will say one thing that just works if you're looking at an overall cloud is leaning into the community. We lean into what that community needs. There's a Main Street festival, a barbecue festival. Okay, well, bring one of our chefs out because then the community feels it. Oh, they didn't just come in and say, okay, here's a casino and we're going to do it how we want to do it. They said, oh, this is important to them and we're going to tier our interest and likes and what we're talking about because that's the cool thing about gaming. It's everything. It's hospitality. It's food and beverage. It's it's all the things that you can lean into to say, yeah, we have that. We'll lean into what makes that event and what's important to you, right? Like what is important to the person we're working with.
What trends do you see happening in the gaming industry right now?
I will say, I've been in this industry almost 20 years now. If you would have told me that we'll still just send paper direct mail, we'll try an app out. The next year we won't have an app. Gaming is such a different mainstream animal than all the things you see in consumer goods. It's so not the same. All the other jurisdictions of sports betting, all the other iGaming happening in different areas. I think that's the trend. That's how do you build that into your business plan to make it profitable for you? I think those are the trends that are changing the game a little bit.
Yeah, because it's a balance, right? Like you want to protect your loyal players and keep them happy, but you also want your new audiences to come in. So
And I think all of us work in the gambling industry. We want to take a gamble because we don't want to look back and say, well, we didn't try it. 'Cause
Yeah.
we don't. No one wants to be
Yeah.
Blockbuster.
Right.
what's a prediction you have for 2025 for gaming industry? Anything?
Well, I think you and I could like go down the rabbit hole on this. Influencers people are starting to figure it out in the gaming industry. I think Choctaw's been lucky. One, Texas, because of tax purposes, has one of the most strongest influencer markets, so we get to capitalize on that. I think we probably have for a regional property, one of the strongest influencer programs in the country.
Oh, that's
People thought we were crazy.
Yeah. Well, I guess what is that program? So is it just like a regular cadence of inviting these folks into the property, or like how would you summarize kind of what you guys are doing with the influencers group?
We, in all things, aim to be good partners that are non-transactional. So that means testing out some things that don't work, which is an influencer, testing out people that maybe don't work. But then on the flip side, testing out people from lifestyle, food and beverage, travel, all those different categories that do work. And now we're in our 4th, 5th year of people who, take their families to Choctaw, and people trust what they're saying. And I think one of the main things that we don't do is we don't just focus on slot influencers.
Sure.
We focus on
Yeah.
the category, the industry as a whole, and where can we elevate those people. And because now we've been working with them for 5-6 years, some of them, their audience trust that when they go, it's not just a paid ad. That takes a lot of time, but I think if you have people that want to dial in and do that, like, you'll see some result from that. Just on, because consumer audiences, especially this emerging generation, that's how they make their trusted decisions.
Yeah.
Is from a person, not an ad. Next Friday we have an event. It's not contracted. It's not paid. It's truly a thank you. Like, hey, thank you for being our partner as a content creator, and whatever that looks like. However, we've worked with you in the last year. Come. We want to have a Christmas party.
Oh, cool.
And we have over 50 people that just said we want to come because we like you and you like us, and like the organic, and we see the spikes in media when they're on property, and the website clicks and the hotel reservations, like, so we do know it's working.
Sure. Cool news, if I'm in your chair, is you get to have a lot of fun and do these cool activations and partnerships, but it all tracks back and it's like, well, it's also effective.
Okay, well, we ask everyone this.
Okay.
Who would you recommend to come on the show next?
You guys have had so many great people on the show, so you've kind of
We're
like
in for
you've
we're
ticked a lot of boxes.
We're okay for repeats because they would all be new for Hillary.
That's
But
Yeah,
yeah,
you've
no
checked a
worries.
lot of
Yeah.
boxes in the MaxBet world. I think there's some people who have done things in gaming and now have moved on. Like, I think about Kate White, who was at Penn doing interactive, doing a lot of IT stuff.
Yep.
But now her focus is more autism awareness.
Oh, cool.
Nonprofit, and I think sometimes merging those two different cause cares creates really uplifting stories and interesting conversation. Ellen Whittemore, head of legal, every time I talk to her, I'm like, oh man, you're smart, a little terrifying, and awesome. Like,
It's exactly what you want in a lawyer, by the way.
yeah,
A little
but
scared,
like
glad
the
your mind's-
stories people like her have for
Yeah.
over decades of dealing internally, externally, their stories are just mind-boggling.
Cool.
The things they've done. But yeah,
We'll take it. Kate and Ellen. I know neither of them. I've heard both of them by reputation, so
yeah.
any intros would be helpful.
Making it
Now we
work.
got to go rodeo.
I know, go
Yeah,
rodeo.
go get 'em. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
All right, well, thanks so much
Cheers.
for coming.
Thanks, Erica.
Thanks for having me.
And just like that, we're done.
And now, the segment where we make it up as we go.
Hey, by the way, when you close your water bottle, that clip sounds like a bomb going off.
Okay.
Now you know it's like doing video calls with her. Like, yes, it's a problem.
No, you're the one eating chips. Don't put that on me.
We good?
It is
Oh, we're going.
We've been going.
My bad.
okay. Erica Kosemund.
Erica rocked it. We knew she would. That's what she does. All she does is show up, win things, and move to the next thing.
Yeah. Confirmed.
I love the pace with which they're free to be creative. Right? When you talk about like, hey, this building had an issue, we can have a unique moment to shine our brand on that building because everyone's eyes and ears are on it. I don't know exactly how long it was, but it's probably an hour between can we do it, let's do it, go do it. That's unheard of in a business their size and scale.
Yeah.
So for that leadership team and her to look and go, we trust you, just do the fun thing. Mm-hmm. We're not going to be too serious. Like, that's what jumps out to me. Like, that's, we talk about different things. That's culture. That's what you want to be a part of. So, like, love that. The fact that it worked and it got it right is great, but just to me, the underlying sentiment of, like, we trust you, go to get it done, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And the lawyer was like, we got you. Don't worry about it. We'll take the letter. It'll be fine. Right.
It's not only getting that approval, but also like the boots on the ground actions that had to be orchestrated and happen. Like,
Somebody had to
you
go
got to
plug
get a
the projector
projector.
in.
You got to have someone to go get that projector, someone to go put it where it needs to shine
Come up with the
directly.
copy. Yeah.
Like all of that. So there's a lot of moving parts that you don't really think about. I think it's a good element of ask for forgiveness, not permission, too.
Yeah.
Which I think you need to have in marketing.
Well, it seems like a lot of the more cutting-edge marketers have that because they're like, we're just going to do a thing, and it's not really illegal. And they go, well, you should. Well, okay, we're done. We're leaving. You know,
like
my buddy, we were growing up, he would be like, well, they can't kick us out. We're leaving anyway. It's like, yeah, I guess that's a good point. So you could be ridiculous between now and the door.
But wait, what were you doing between now and the door?
Nothing really. It was just a sentiment. But no, it was just
sentiment that you had to say a couple times.
It was in the repertoire. Anyway, before I incriminate myself from 25 years ago. But we do have the Super Bowl coming up.
I don't want to get sued, so let's go ahead and call it the big game.
The big game's coming up. We're just going to call it the big
game.
We're going to figure out who the best team in the NFL is probably within the next couple weeks.
Or we're going to figure out which team the refs are paid the most by.
I love that take.
I'm looking at you.
That's an interesting. Looking at you, Taylor. Do you make any bets? Because now at the Super Bowl, there are an outrageous number of bets. You got your normal who's going to win. You got who's going to win by how many. But then you got who's going to score first, how they're going to score, how long is the anthem going to be.
Yeah.
Do you do any of that?
Short answer, no. But I would do it if it was on something like outrageous, like ridiculous.
How ridiculous are we talking?
I would bet on how many times the ref adjusts his mic. Or like
It's a penalty on the defense. Yeah.
if the ref like runs into anybody.
I feel like I'd want to bet streaker or no streaker.
100%.
Either an activist or a brand that's like, hey, just go. We'll pay the fine. You'll never be welcome back in New Orleans because I think that's where the game is this year. But don't worry about that. You never
He
been to
was on the way
Louisiana.
out anyway.
He was on his way out, exactly. We weren't going. I was going to stay anyway. That's right. Perfect callback. He was leaving anyway. Why not leave nude?
What would you bet on?
I'm too close to the game, so I think I can win. I'm looking at it going, all right, who's singing the anthem this year? Are they generally long-winded? Do they carry the high notes out?
You're doing research.
Yeah, for
you're
my
looking things
$10 minute 52 or less anthem bet, I want to know if they're long-winded.
up. Okay.
I mean, I think what you're starting to see is like the DraftKings and the FanDuels of the world. They know we want to have fun with this, so they come up with some pretty outrageous stuff. So I'm excited to see a list of what these can be.
I would bet on like if a backup dancer just goes, "This is my moment to shine." Remember the sharks like in Katy Perry's were like
left shark was like
the
the
left
man,
shark
or
was
whatever.
like
Yeah.
going for it. I wish I would have known to bet on if 50 Cent was going to be upside down when he performed.
Oh, was he?
Yes.
Oh, he was. Yeah.
He literally hung from like the rafters, like an elementary school child
Yeah, like
on the
the
playground.
like the music video.
Who was your most memorable halftime
There's two.
performance?
So I think the one that was the most like older millennial, let's do this, was Dr. Dre's whole program. It was like him and
that
Snoop
was good.
come
Yeah,
down.
yeah.
So you're like,
Yeah.
this is pretty cool.
That was a good one.
So that was like, I knew all the words. Let's say that. That was like the first time, because sometimes they get like a little older artist and you're like, oh, I don't know the words.
Yeah, they bring in like Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah, and you're like, yeah, I love the boss, but I don't know all the words. I know the hits, right? So like this one, I was like, first time I knew all the words.
Yeah.
And then, but no, I think one of the best ones was Prince. Prince came out and it was raining, and he did it anyway. He was outdoors in rain and he's just jamming the whole way. That was pretty iconic to me.
I mean, this is going to air before, but who do you hope makes it in?
Well,
'Cause
who
I
is the
don't
who
think
is
the
the
Raiders
headliner
are
this year?
making it.
Oh, Super Bowl? No, team wise, yeah. No, so the Raiders. Sorry,
I'm
my
so
team
sorry.
is Raiders.
Your team is not making
We're
it.
picking fifth, if that means anything. We are. That's not good. That's not good. It's good for us, but not great. I'm rooting for the Lions or the Raiders. Like, there's a few teams, right? So I now root for people that I think I want to see win. So like the Lions head coach, Dan Campbell, seems like the kind of coach I would have loved to play for. Seems like the kind of teammate you'd want to have. He's just like hard on his sleeve. Let's go do this. Like, kind of it seems like that kind of. So I'm like, I would love to see that guy win the Super Bowl. Like that team behind him, the whole thing. So that's an easy one to root for. I like the Ravens. So their quarterback, Lamar Jackson's a good one of those like super talented guys. Like, man, it'd be great to see a guy like that win the Super Bowl. So those are my two. Do you have an interest, or like who do you?
At this point, the Broncos are still in it.
Oh yeah, I forgot you're a Broncos fan.
Like, fingers
Block
crossed,
that out
but
of my
let's
mind.
be real. Yeah, so I would love to be pleasantly surprised that they make it in, but I'm...
Well, first weekend I almost always root for just some crazy disruption, right? So like I don't know what seed the Broncos are. I think they're pretty low seed, 6 or 7. So you're like, just go make chaos, right? Like go in there and like I don't know who they play. Hopefully not the Ravens, but I guess like, boom, you guys just go create some weirdness. If anyone beats the Chiefs, I'll buy their jersey because I'm sick of the Chiefs winning, which is really just a jealousy thing.
I'm over it, yeah.
Yeah, I respect how good they are, but I hate it because they're my rival, and it's like enough of the same thing.
I'm hoping for the Broncos, but we've had some like historically very embarrassing Super Bowls. So I'm kind of like, if we do it, let's like redeem ourselves a
Yeah.
little bit. Like, we don't want to pick six in the first 30 seconds, like that one time with
Yeah.
Peyton Manning. That was embarrassing.
Seems like a bad option.
Yeah, seems like a bad option.
Seems like not the right strategy.
Seems like something someone did bet on that.
Really? Pick six?
Someone
Yeah.
did bet a pick six in the first 30 seconds.
In the first 30, like that's oddly specific.
It was.
Maybe the first quarter.
No, it was like the first, maybe 90 seconds of the game. It was something immediate. It was like on the first,
Investigate
second
that.
play.
There's no world where when you're assuming. So first of all, Peyton Manning doesn't do that. He's the sheriff. He's like the odds of him throwing a pick six at all are incredibly low. And then for it to happen right away, and then for that to cash on somebody that bet it.
Somebody did bet.
I'm not saying there was collusion, but that seems like one of those like.
It's
no
incredibly
way.
suspicious. It's incredibly
Come
suspicious.
on, Peyton Manning. What are we doing here?
But I don't think Peyton Manning's bought. I don't think.
Oh, I don't. He's like one of the most authentic characters there is, in my opinion. Other than Nationwide commercials, which he sings for all of us.
But we all love the Papa John's commercials, so that's
John's
redemption enough
Yeah,
for
that's
him.
good. A little rising crest. All right, maybe we'll heat that at the Super Bowl, and then we'll see if our bets pay off. That's what I'm thinking.
All right. Well, I hope whatever team you want wins. I hope they just all have fun.
Yeah, I'm not going to say it to you. I don't want the Broncos to win. So I'm a Raider fan. I can't openly wish
really
a Broncos fan.
disappointing.
I would lose my status in the Raider Nation if I wished you your team success.
I think we can just mutually agree that we hope it's not the Chiefs.
Yes, so let's just unite in our anti-Raider.
Let's unite
Yeah.
in that.
All right.
Go Sports.
Go Sports. See you next time. Catch ya.